So the movie Zootopia takes place in this world that's basically run by zoo animals. There's a bunch of different lands for all of the different animals that you'd find in a zoo. And within this land, in a bunny carrot farm land to be exact, there's a bunny named Judy who has these aspirations of becoming a cop one day. And there's never been a rabbit cop. It's usually these big predator animals that are always cops. So it's like a really big dream for her. And a little spoiler, she does eventually become a cop. She graduates top of her class at the Animal Police Training Academy, and she becomes a cop. And she, obviously isn't accepted at first because no one's used to having a bunny as a cop. So she takes on this case kind of by herself, this case of this missing otter. And she kind of befriends this fox named Nick who, in the past, rabbits and foxes don't get along so well, so this is kind of a big thing for her, and her and the fox kind of take on this case together, and they end up solving this mystery and uncovering an even bigger case along the way. So there's a lot of different mysteries that are going on, a lot of crime scene investigation, and just like a lot of fun things that happen along the way. And I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very creative, very well done. I was laughing. There were like moments where I was sitting on the edge of my seat. I just thought it was super well done. All the animals kind of like fit into their roles really well. What did you think of it?
Well, I really liked Zootopia. I mean, it's not really specifically a guy movie. It doesn't have that carnage and action and gore, but it had some action. It had good humor. It was it pains me to say this, but it was a cute movie.
It was adorable. It was adorable.
Kind of cute.
So cute.
The animation was good. The acting was like everything about it was good.
Really good bunny actors.
It was really good,
yeah.
good bunny actors for sure. The fox they hired was also really good.
Oh
yeah. The big thing that I liked about it was that it was not afraid to go into this animated scene. It made a lot of these fun jokes that you can only do with that sort of scenario. You know what's weird is animals with clothes on.
Oh yeah, there's this one scene where all the animals are naked and they're not wearing clothes, and it's like the biggest deal ever. It was super funny.
So
there's a bunch of scenes like that. You just have to go see it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's a ton of these tiny little jokes, and then they also hit on very deep, important, and relevant issues that are currently, going through society. Stereotypes, and maybe even, going into racism.
Yeah, I mean, there's this whole thing, kind of predators versus prey, like all these stereotypes, like about all these different species of animals, and it definitely touches on real life, I would say. So there's definitely a valuable message hidden underneath, all these silly, crazy animals and all the mischief that's going on for sure.
Yeah, and you can't complain about the animation either.
Oh, it was so well done, so clever. You think about in a zoo, there's kind of like the safari animals, the rainforest animals, like the cute little petting zoo animals, and there's all these different worlds for all these animals, and then there's Zootopia, which is like the actual big city where like all this stuff happens, and then there's like the celebrity gazelle who's voiced by Shakira, and she's like this huge celebrity singer dancer. So I mean, it was all just super well done. Some really funny scenes. It was just super creative, I would say.
Speaking of Shakira, the music was also good.
Yeah,
they put some good music in there. All the tense scenes had the suspense music and everything else, and there was Shakira in it. So
yeah, Shakira was there.
Shakira's hasn't been.
If for nothing else, go see it for Shakira.
I'm not personally a fan of Shakira, but I mean her music.
Talk about that later.
Her music's alright. But yeah, what did you think overall?
I love this movie. Like, I was laughing the whole time. I thought it was so funny. If you weren't laughing during it, like, come on. And they were like cute little bunnies. All the animals were so cute. They're little like hamsters. I mean, come on. So, and like you said, it definitely had like some underlying tones that were like focusing on some deeper real world issues, which I feel like any good animated movie really does. It kind of like underneath all the humor and all the silliness that's going on, it kind of touches on these real issues and has an impact and has a message behind it, which I think is really important. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to give this movie 4 cougar paws, 100%. 10 out of 10. I don't think I've ever done this before, but I'm going to give it 4 cougar paws.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep,
Well,
I am.
I
I
mean,
went there.
all right. Well, I have nothing to complain about. It was a good movie.
Yeah, like 0 complaints.
I mean, I can't subtract anything from it, so I guess I'm also gonna have to give it like a 4 out of 4 cougar paws as well.
Oh, you said that not as excitedly as me, but
No, I know it was a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend this movie. Like, even if you're not a fan of animated movies, I go see it. It was just really clever and well done. Like, I go see it again. So
You want to go see it after this?
yeah, let's go. Let's go see Zootopia.
All right.
Lily, what do you have for us this week?
Hi, this is Lily with Lily's Pick of the Week. This week I want to talk about Swedish films, and I think we can all agree on this one thing. American remakes are never going to be as good as the originals. And this film I'm going to be talking about is called Let the Right One In, or Låt den rätte komma in, by John Ajvide Lindqvist, who's also the screenwriter for this film. He's partnering up with Thomas Alfredsson, who they're just a dream team made in heaven. They have complete opposite genre styles and complete different opinions, but when it comes to this film, they have the exact same vision. The story is minimalist, it's compact, and it's turned down into the 2 core characters and their relationship with each other. So basically this film takes place in the early 80s of Sweden. So it's very snowy, very winter, snow so high you can't even imagine it, and it creates a very, very chilly backdrop to what's going to happen. And basically what premise of the story is that Oscar, a 12-year-old boy, meets his new mysterious neighbor who looks his own age, who's moved in next door. So before I get into the actual plot, because it's going to spoil quite a lot, I just want to give a very big shout out to Hoyt van Hoyten, the cinematographer of this film. He has also done work on Spectre, Her, and Interstellar, and he's absolutely incredible at what he does. You can call the lighting in the scene like spray can lighting. So you just put light in the spray can and you spray it all over. And it's so diffused and so beautiful, and it illuminates the chilliness both inside and outside. And it's just the perfect setting for a country like Sweden, where people keep very close to themselves. There's a lot of framed pictures of things happening within them and people observing but never really interacting. And he uses a lot of color imagery to present the contrast between the 2 core characters, and as well using mirrors and reflections all the time to just reinforce the distance we all have between each other, between a mother and a son, between 2 lovers, between yourself and the rest of the world. And that's what brings the 2 main characters together in the end. So, I don't want to spoil it too much, so if you I really, really, really recommend for you to watch this film right now. Just turn this off and watch this film. I had a friend do that, and he absolutely loved it. He had no idea what it was actually about. But if you want to know more about the plot, I'm going to tell you now. So, as I said, Oscar's 12-year-old boy. He is horribly bullied at school, both verbally and physically, and he has scars on his face to prove it. He has bruises on his body, and he keeps fantasizing about murdering or torturing his tormentors. And then he meets Eli. Eli is what he perceives to be a girl who's just moved in next door to him, and despite her initial reluctance, they both become very close friends. So there's something really strange about Eli. She doesn't really seem to get cold at all, and she only shows up at night. So Oscar, who's obsessed with, grisly murders, all of these things as most bullied boys do, he collects newspaper clippings, and his newest one is of this murder that happened in his neighborhood, where a youth was found hung upside down with his throat slit and his blood drained. And it turns out that it was Eli's caretaker Håkan who collected blood for her to drink, because Eli is a vampire. Now it might sound very straightforward or cliche, but I promise you it's not. The relationship that builds up between Oscar and Eli is absolutely beautiful, and I have to give so much credit to the 2 actors. The 2 children actors, 11 years old, it took 1 year to find both of them, and they work so well in unison. And the voice actor is actually dubbed over Eli's character, and it creates such an interesting effect to her vampirism, because, Eli is 12 years old, but Eli has been 12 years old for a very, very long time. And I know that for many people, subtitles is scary, and Swedish, slow, long-time films might not seem that enticing to you. But it really pays off in the end, and it's important to realize there are other ways to make films. There are other ways to take pace and emotion when creating your work, and this film is just a fantastic example of when Swedish film works at its best. So, that is my pick of the week, and I'll see you next time.
Next time, we'll take a look at Melissa McCarthy in The Boss.
And see how Jon Favreau takes his Iron Man success into the world of Disney with the new version of The Jungle Book.
It's the season finale, isn't it?
You know what? It is.
Well, make sure to tune in.